Good morning. Hello, it's Monday. Thank you so much for joining. I had a request this week for a week of calm, of yoga poses that really help our anxiety, especially as the world is changing each week. You know, there's maybe a little bit more ability to go outside, which brings up more worries for some people. So Mr. Iyengar had the most fantastic sequence for emotional stability, and we're going to do a couple of poses from that. Obviously, the whole sequence is fantastic, so we can only do so much in 10 minutes. And we're going to use a little bit of props today. So we've got a chair and a bolster, which could be your normal dining room chair and a couple of cushions. And then we've got a couple of foam blocks here, which could be used for, you could use some books instead, so different options. So let's start on all fours, and we'll do downward facing dog. And for downward facing dog, you want to support the head, which is why I've got these foams here. So spread the fingers, spread all the joints of the fingers, and then walk the feet back so that your hands and your hips are the same distance as your hips and your heels. And then straighten the arms and the legs. So the point of relaxing the head is to bring calm to your mind. And you still want the arms and the legs to be really working for you. So your abdomen is relaxed and drawn up and back. And you can stay here for a few minutes. So I want you to start to tune into your breathing. So start to bring in some relaxation in this posture. And I know if you're quite new to downward dog, or if your hamstrings are really stiff, you think there's no calm available. The good thing about using books or foam blocks is as you start to release in the hamstrings and the side chest, maybe you can go a little bit lower, so you can remove some of the blocks if you can. And there's a real balance between having too much support so that your head is kind of jamming into the shoulders, and too little support so that your arms and your legs are working really hard for you. So we'll just stay for a few more breaths here, just releasing the intercostal muscles in the side chest. This posture with the head supported is also in the immune sequence. And as you can see, you're just turning the lungs upside down. I have hay fever, so I really notice it in my sinuses today. And then you can bring the knees down. So we want to spend about 2 or 3 minutes in that posture. And then you can extend forwards and have the head supported. And we'll just take a few breaths into the back of the body here. One more deep breath in and out. And then bring the hands under the shoulders. Use the hands to press yourself up. So we're going to do Uttanasana forward fold now. For this posture, we're going to use a chair. And you can put a couple of pillows on the chair. So I've got the yoga bolster here. And we're going to support the elbows and the forehead on the bolster. So as you come into Uttanasana, you want to keep the legs upright and hinge at the hips. So keep the hips and the heels in line. And then hold on to the elbows on the upper arms. And then have the head supported. So start to breathe into the sides of the chest. So your breathing can really help when we're stressed, we're in that fight or flight mode. So when we start to slow down our breathing, we start to come into the parasympathetic part of our nervous system. If you've got things on your mind, every time your mind wanders, come back to your breathing. So breathe into the side chest. Breathe into the back of the body. Keep extending the elbows. And we'll just stay for another minute. I know at the beginning, as you build up time in these postures, it can be really difficult to stay slightly longer. And then just change the crossing of the arms, so bring the opposite forearm in front. Notice how that affects your shoulders. And keep extending the back of the body towards the floor as you lengthen the sides of the chest towards your chair. Extend the chest forwards. And make the legs really firm. So we want the legs to be strong and stable for us. So keep lifting the kneecaps up. Make the outer thighs firm. One more deep breath in and out. And then bring the hands onto the bolster, and then inhale, stretch the arms up, stretch the side chest up, and then we'll just hold on to the elbows and extend the arms up, and then we'll bring the hands down, change the crossing of the arms, inhale, stretch your arms up, and then bring the hands down. And we're going to stay in the next posture for a little bit of time. So we're going to do Viparita Karani, so our legs up the wall. So we'll have if you've got a bolster or a towel or something, even a cushion, you'll have it about a fist distance away from the wall. So whatever you're using, just make sure it's slightly away from the wall. You're going to sit to the side, and then you bring the hands back, and then you bring the legs up and over, and then once you lie back, you then want to get really close so that your lower back, your sitting bones are against the wall, legs against the wall, back of the heels against the wall, and then stretch the arms wide. So you extend the heels up, spread the toes, and relax the front of the legs. Relax the front ankles and press the thighs towards the wall. Open and spread the back of the knees. And this pose is really good for anxiety and worry. So every time your mind wanders, be aware of it without judgment and come back to your breathing. Relax your jaw. Relax behind the eyes. Notice how quickly it is before your mind goes on to a thought again. And come back to your breathing. The long, slow, deep inhalation. Long, deep exhalation. And we're just going to stay just for 30 more seconds. But you can build this pose up to 5 minutes. Couple more breaths. Now, if you've got more time, you can stay in this pose for a few more minutes. Otherwise, cross the legs to the wall. So the shins cross and the feet go low, knees wide. Change the crossing of the legs. And then bring the knees into the chest, and you can carefully roll over and come up. So thank you so much for joining me today. That was just 3 poses from the emotional stability sequence. So it's a long sequence that you can do over a couple of hours. So obviously I've just picked 3 nice ones to do if you've just stepped away from your desk, and hopefully you can go back into your Monday feeling a little bit calmer, a little bit more stable. Thank you so much, and I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be doing some nice calming, undoing anxiety for the rest of the week. Bye.